Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our Friday weather update for November the 17th. We've got a lot of high pressure on the way for New Zealand, but before it arrives, low pressure comes in this weekend with some wet weather. The timing's not perfect, I know, but believe it or not, there are several regions now in both main islands of New Zealand that need the rain, where the soil moisture levels are below average. And while that might not, please everybody, one positive about the weather pattern we've seen this spring, it's really good for our fruit and vegetable prices. So if we can get a little bit of rain, keep the farmers and growers happy, that's a good thing for everybody. So let's have a look at the Friday setup. At the end of today, you've got a cold front moving up the country. We've got off to the northeast here, tropical cyclone, or at least the remnants of tropical cyclone Mel. It's falling apart, no longer a cyclone, and by Sunday, it will be completely gone. Now out in the Tasman, northerly flow on one side, southerly on the other. You know when you spin a coin or a spin top, you have to flick your wrist like that? Well, it's a similar action in the atmosphere. You've got a kind of a spinning notion with the northerly on that side, southerly on the other, and a low pressure zone is going to start to develop there, right in the Tasman. Already quite a lot of thunderstorms out there this morning. And then over in Australia, mostly dry, but thunderstorms in the middle and also out to the east. The blue on the map today shows relative humidity. So the brighter the blue, the more likely it is to be wet or at least cloudy. And so that's the reason why you're seeing in that convergence line some rain and the cold front moving up the South Island and obviously what was Cyclone Mel. So let's take a look at the rainfall on its way for New Zealand from that low in the Tasman coming through. Pretty much 30 to 60 millimetres coming in. Not a huge amount, but it's just enough to really wet the ground and give some of you a bit of relief. Now, not everyone will get those totals. Our hills and ranges get in the way a wee bit. So best thinking at the moment, it looks as though the central western side, Taranaki, Mount Turupehu up to about Waitomo, will get some of the heavier totals as that front comes through. And Fiordland, our rainforest, gets the lowest amount. Let's have a look at Australia. Those thunderstorms, very obvious around Uluru and also out to the east here in Queensland. They'll be very welcome. Please do take a look at our 7-day Australia-only forecast that we just put out yesterday. It's already had over 70,000 views. So I'm taking it that Australians are very keen to get that rain. It's very dry over there at the moment. So here is Saturday's setup, that low pressure zone just offshore from the North Island. Now, this doesn't mean rain for everybody. It means that you've got the risk of some wet weather in there. Showers and maybe a few heavy falls potentially into the afternoon, but also mixed in with some drizzly, lighter stuff and some large dry areas too. So it won't be raining all day for everyone. Take a look at the ruralweather.co.nz website if you've got any events on. It's very good to see the rain and the wind graphs side by side there. You can sort of work out what's going to happen. South Islanders mostly settled on Saturday, but on Sunday, as the low moves into the upper North Island, it will drive down some of that cloud and drizzle back, in fact, as far south as Oamaru. Won't be very much, just a little bit of drizzle in the mix there. But inland, might notice a couple of heavier falls that develop into the afternoon. And speaking of those heavy falls, here on Monday, high pressure on each side means you've got sort of an easterly flow coming in on this side, a westerly on the other, pushes up around the mountains, and you end up with afternoon downpours. In fact, a little bit like the t-shirt I'm wearing at the moment with the contour lines, you're going to be seeing those downpours inland, and in fact also potentially forming around the North Island as well, caught up in that southeasterly airflow. So by Tuesday, still got the risk of those afternoon showers popping up through inland areas and again through the South Island. This is the 1 p.m. snapshot. Most of those showers develop later into the afternoon, so you may not see them highlighted here, but this is all high pressure across the South Island. And the low to the east there, very weak, 10-18, barely low pressure. So mostly dominated by high pressure, but there will be some drizzly light showers continuing around the eastern North Island. Okay, to Wednesday next week, high pressure in charge, may still be a couple of showers around, but generally speaking, calm. Light winds, high pressure is in control. And in Australia, plenty of thunderstorms, and they carry on there into Thursday as well. Now, the last map that we've got here does show an interesting little change. Over in Tasmania and Victoria, quite a cold southerly coming in. I expect a few complaints from the Australians when that comes in. So what happens for New Zealand? Well, high pressure up here will limit how far that can go, but there is a chance that that southerly will go a little further up the South Island. So the end of next week, and yes, that means next Saturday, there is a chance that we just might be seeing a colder change, at least for the South Island, making its way across the country. But this high is very much in control, and it is helping to encourage more of the settled El Nino pattern that we get used to at this time of the year, and of course the westerlies. But this is good news for Australia, the rain that they're getting from the downpours and thunderstorms. And like I say, more details about that in our Australia-only forecast that was out yesterday. That's all from me. I'll be back again next week. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.